So, good morning to everybody. Welcome to our finally springtime sunny Bologna and also to the Emilia-Romagna region premises. And also a warm welcome to you all that you have decided to come here today and stay with us, as well as to those of you who have decided to follow up remotely. My name is Barbara Di Piazza. I am the coordinator of the Joint Secretariat of IPA Adrian program, and today I have the privilege of introducing the speakers who will take turns on stage today. As you know, the purpose of this event is to demonstrate the primary aspects of the second call for proposal. According to the agenda that you have seen on our website, the event is structured in two parts: the plenary session in the morning, and where we will provide you an overview of the main elements of the call, and it will be concluded with the question and answer sessions. And this will be also addressed to the plenary session can be followed also by the participants who are following us remotely, whereas in the afternoon, parallel sessions, each per one specific objective, will take place. And technical details about that, where to go and so forth, then will be provided at the end of the morning session. Before starting and then providing with practical information on the content of the second call for proposal, I am pleased to give the floor to our General Director, but also Head of the Managing Authority of the IPA Adrian program, Mr. Francesco Rafael Frieri, who will provide an insight into the program and tell us what and to which extent the program is contributing to the benefit of the area. Morning, please.
Okay, we start. Can I? Okay. A warm greeting to all the participants who are here with us today and those who are following us remotely. I bring greetings for our Minister, Mr. Davide Baruffi, who apologizes for being unable to attend due to a personal matter. Maybe he will come with us soonly. With us today, the IPA Adrian program announces the launch of the second call for proposal aiming to allocate the less financial resources available for the implementation of the project of this planned period, 21 million almost. Our region has been managing the IPA Adrian program since 2015, formerly Adrian program, with the role of managing authority. This commitment, in addition to being an honor, perfectly embodies the values and the tradition of solidarity of Emilia-Romagna region, and it is an interest in strengthening relations with the member countries of the European Union as well as with the Western Balkans. Moreover, the renewal on the mandate in 2022 has further allowed us to consolidate the management of this important financial and programming instrument, which has so far supported a total 157 projects since 2016. And thanks to specially allocated resources, it has been confirmed as the main promoter of the governance of the Adriatic-Ionian macro-region, USAIR. Interreg programs play an important role in generating the cohesion that our territories deeply need, which translates into actions aimed to strengthening dialogue between all components of communities, whether public authorities, non-governmental organizations, local authorities, and small and medium firms. Not only that, Interreg develops this dialogue on the transnational scale, promoting a broader exchange of tools, practices and strategies between countries that share a common territorial area. It is precisely thanks to our program in the Adriatic-Ionian area is now a more dynamic and prepared territory when it comes to joint management of natural resources. For example, within the 70 projects founded within the first call proposal 21-27, we are supporting transnational partnerships that are actively working for a more sustainable management of water resources, for a reduction of soil pollution and marine litter, which today represent the most important challenges in the fight against climate change. To date, these projects are related to the priority axis supporting a greater and climate-resilient Adriatic and Ionian region, constitute the 60% of the resources allocated in the first call for a total of 52.6 million euros. In the frame of this program, IPA Adrian is also supporting more intensively project initiatives of innovation issues with a particular focus on the digitalization of services, including in public administration and on competitiveness in small and medium-sized firms. Since, as you know, this area has strong need to develop its potential and resources through the use of technologies and the innovative system in our single European market. In this perspective, the program helps us to generate the necessary change through the creation of thematic clusters aimed to strengthening synergies in the territory. Also, an issue of great international interest, such as mass specialization strategy, renewable energies, and blue growth. These areas have already supported the projects of the first axis linked to the innovation for a total amount of 25.5 million euros of Interreg funds. Additionally, I would like to add one last note regarding what we financed in the first call. A recurring theme since the previous programs, which we wanted to maintain in this new one, is to respond to needs of the territories. In the green transition of maritime transport, this topic concerns the reduction of the emissions and the environmental impact of ports, the efficiency of freight transport, and the improvement on the intermodal connection between maritime and internal areas. We continue to remain faithful to the maritime vocation of the program, allocating significant part of the resources to the axis dedicated to transport, with 6 projects for a total of 7.5 million euros of Interreg funds. Further, to the contribution to the selected themes, the project contribute to the strengthening of intangible values that are no less important, especially in the current historical context, such as the spirit of cooperation, solidarity, the desire to implement common initiatives of broad scope and long-term to project the common heritage, as well the enhancement of our territories. I would also like to tell you about the initiative that was strongly designed by the Emilia-Romagna region, namely the call for funding 5 university masters, programs on key topics for the economic development of the area. With this initiative, the program anticipated a central theme of the political agenda of the European Union today, namely the right to stay, as underlined by Enrico Letta in his report, Much More Than a Market. The goal is to create a concrete opportunities for work and skills development for young people to wish to stay in their own country, thus contributing to the growth and sustainable and peaceful future in our regions. These masters are now taking shape through international agreement between universities in the Adriatic-Ionian area on the topics on robotics, circular economy, and bioeconomy, renewable energies, and social innovation, and we aim to start enrollment for the 2026 and 2027 academic year. Beyond the financial data as the closely linked to the enlargement policies of the European Union, through the program, they use as the opportunity to strengthen cooperation with the Western Balkan countries, promoting stability, development, and economic integration. Furthermore, the IPA Adrian plays a key role in facilitating the alignment of these countries with the European values, regulation, standards, contributing to a future access to the European Union. In this way, the program not only supports concrete projects, but also contributes to the construction of a more cohesive and prosperous and peaceful enlarged Europe. As director of the managing authority of the program, in addition to ensuring good management, I am responsible for translating from a technical perspective to the guidelines indicated by its monitoring committee that decides the areas and sectors on which to converge the resources, as well as the rules aimed to ensuring fair and equal involvement for all the countries across the cooperation area. Thank you to all of you for your collaboration in this sense. This program is above all a tool for the benefit for all our organizations that wish to acquire new knowledges, expand their network of relationships, and can be more effective in implementing community policies to support their citizens. Currently, our projects involve more than 600 organizations. Approximately 200 are public administration, on which the 3/4 are local and regional authorities. Almost 150, 1/4, are research and higher education bodies, and the 15% are organizations supporting the business world, on which the 6% are companies. Today, our commitment continues with the aim of offering you new opportunities in these industries that have not yet been funded. With the opening of this second call, we wish to support transnational initiatives to all the 3 thematic areas, but in specific such areas are social innovation, health, tourism, natural protection and conservation, intermodal and multimodal transport, in creative industry. The message we would like to convey is that, for us, the European Union is a community of practice, a cooperation that builds citizenship, not a cow to be milked. Therefore, we invite our entire Adrian community to take part, to share many coffees together, to build friendship, and to avoid each other as reinventing the wheel in isolation. In conclusion, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of you for dedicating your time and your attention to this address. The success of our program depends on your collaboration, commitment, and the passion that we all bring to our work. I am deeply grateful for your continuous support and dedication to improving and developing the Adriatic-Ionian region. Together, we can contribute to build a more sustainable, peaceful, inclusive, and prosperous future for our communities. An heartfelt thanks to all my colleagues who made this event possible. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Frieri, for these inspiring words. Now I would like to give you some key features with regard to, can you hear me? No? Can you hear me better now? Okay, thank you. And some features with regard to the call for proposal. And then my colleagues will continue will provide you with more in-depth information. But before starting, okay, I cannot not remind you the overall goal of our program, which is that already the General Director mentioned. However, it is my task from a technical perspective to remind you, because this will be our hidden Bible while designing the project proposals, meaning that our program is one of the 11 transnational Interreg programs of the current programming period. It contributes to the enlargement process through the identification of common solutions to make the region smarter and greener. In addition to that, the program is one of the 4 transnational programs which directly support the macro-regional strategies. You know that there are 4 macro-regional strategies in Europe so far. Our is the USER, and we contribute in 2 ways. The first one, through the support of the macro-regional flagships, meaning the goals that the macro-regional has given to itself and to the area. And we have translated these flagships into our actions that we can find and we drafted in our programming document, as well as with a direct support to the macro-regional governance and through dedicated projects that are 3 at the moment, strategic projects aimed at supporting and ensuring the functioning of the macro-regional strategy. With the granted projects, we would like to enhance their impact through capitalization activities as well as cluster activities. And because of that, so I anticipate that's the reason why the program, the monitoring committee, has decided that each call should have a very dedicated topic in this respect. But on this, I will come back in a later moment. The total program Interreg budget is a little bit less of 125 Interreg funds. And now, after this compulsory slide, it is really now the time to move and to provide with some preliminary overview on the call, which was officially opened on the 15th of April, and it will be closed on the 30th of June at 1 o'clock Rome time. This is the time when our system will officially stop receiving your project proposal. The total Interreg budget, as our managing authority said, is a little bit less of 22 million euro Interreg funds. These are the remaining funds of our program financial envelope. And the Interreg co-financing rate will be 85%, which still remains one of the highest co-financing with regard to the Interreg programs. The program is open to the 3 content priority axes: innovation, environment, transport, but not to all their specific objectives, as you can see in our programming document. And in addition to that, it is open to a limited set of topics and actions. The financing partners must come from the IPA-Adrian program area only, and we have set very specific rules with regard to the eligibility of the partnership, where the partners must be located, how many times the same organization can participate. All these details will be provided with a presentation that will follow. It is just this as appetizer, just to provide you with the overall framework. The project duration is up to 36 months. The maximum Interreg contribution per project is up to 1.2 million euro Interreg, and as all the other Interreg programs, the submission of your project proposal is paperless, and all the available documents are publicly available on our program website. The geographical area of the program, I do assume that you know very well already. Nevertheless, it is reported on the right of this slide. As I said, not all priority axes and specific objectives will be eligible in this call. So What it is eligible are the 3 content priority axes: innovation, environment, and transport, and the selection of their specific objectives. So specific objective 1.1, like in the first call with regard to priority axis 1, innovation, which intends to contributing to the strengthening of the innovation capacity of the area. The budget devoted to this specific objective is 4.8 million Interreg. So I'm always talking about Interreg funds, so I will not repeat any longer, just not to be too much boring. The priority axis 2, dealing with environment, is addressed and open to 2 specific objectives, meaning the one devoted to the resilient approaches and mitigation of climate change, with a budget of a little bit more than 7 million euro, whereas the 6 million euros will be devoted to the specific objective 2.3, which aims at supporting the environmental preservation protection. For those who were also with us and was also interested in the first call for proposal, you have already noted that the 2 specific objectives dealing with a specific circular economy and urban transport are not included any longer in this call. The last priority axis, number 3, dealing with non-urban transport, multimodal transport, and carbon-free one, has an overall budget available financial envelope of 3.6 million euro. What it is important is that your project proposal, if you are interested in submitting to us your project, must address to only 1 priority axis, only 1 specific objective, 1 or more action. This can be chosen upon condition that they belong to the same specific objective. This is because we have to follow the regulation expressed and the guidelines provided by the ERDF regulation. So cross-cutting projects are not possible in this programming period. We said before that in addition to limited specific objectives, we also have set limitations with regard to the topics. I just provide you with a general overview, and then details on the eligible actions will be thoroughly provided by my colleagues in the afternoon. But the program has decided, with the 2 calls, a very specific path. In order to have critical mass of projects, then to be with the same level of maturity, to be then involved in clustering and capitalization activities at program level. And because of that, the focus of this call for proposal will be related to social innovation and social changes, health, quality of life, tourism, nature protection and preservation, intermodal and multimodal transport mode, creative industry. What it is also interesting, just to give you a little bit some background information on the approach that the program, with the approval, of course, of our monitoring committee, is that you will see how, to the greatest possible extent, the topics that we have chosen have also been broken down by the different specific objectives, as said, to the extent that it will be possible. And because of that, there will be 2 slides in a moment that I will illustrate to you in order to give you this idea, and I do hope that it will also be kind of source of inspiration for your projects. Another important information is that topics and actions that were eligible under the first call for proposal will not be eligible under the current one. Here are the 2 slides that I wanted to show you. The first one is related to climate change mitigation and resilience. So as you can see here, I have highlighted as a way of example where this topic is present in the different specific objectives and the priorities. For example, You can find reference to climate change mitigation also under the priority 1, specific objective 1.1, because you can imagine presenting a project proposal dealing with the digital divide, but addressing the resilience to climate change effects, for example, in addition to the 3 actions that are eligible under the dedicated specific objective for climate change. And here you can see that not everything is eligible, but 3 specific, let's say, frameworks of content, namely the climate change mitigation and resilience under the, in the framework of the marine ecosystem, in cultural heritage and urban areas, and in particular with regard to the adaptation for the definition of solutions with a focus on also on people health. And the very last one is related to projects aimed at contributing to the water resources management. A little bit more interesting, if I can say so, is the number of actions that can, in a way or in the other, address to tourism. There are several of them already present under the specific objective 1.1. And these indicative actions, and these actions, beg your pardon, in a way cover several layers of intensity of cooperation, as said, in the field of innovation, stretching from the setting in place of multi-level governance activities to the realization of transnational smart specialization strategies with regard to sustainable tourism, from the building of cluster or cluster to clusters relation to the upscales and test of advanced technology with regard, again, to sustainable tourism. Again, tourism is indirectly present under the specific objective 2.1, dealing with climate change, the action that we mentioned a few minutes ago, and indirectly also under the specific objective 2.3, again, dealing with environment, where tourism indirectly is tackled when referring to the support to sustainable food and traditional agricultural products, without mentioning a direct measure which is related to the exchange of good practices and testing of solutions for sustainable tourism. This is just to give you an idea on how, on the background information and how we developed this call for proposal. Another element that I would like to highlight is that the combination of information that we provided to you in the very first, actually second slide, meaning that the overall financial envelope amounting to a little bit less than 22 million Interreg, and the maximum Interreg budget per project, which is up to 1.2 million euro. Here, as you know, the current programming period explicitly asks the program to allocate resources to each specific objectives. So if on one side this allows the program to guarantee the financing and the support to the extent that it is possible to all the topics that are mentioned in our programming document, this also means that shifting funds from one specific objective to the other is rather difficult. It is not automatic. Because of that, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that having regard to what we said before, in the previous, it was reported in the previous slides, and imagine that all the good quality projects that will be on the top of our ranking list, imagine that all of them ask the maximum Interreg budget available. Well, you will see in the very right column that a limited number of projects can be granted. 4 under the priority axis 1, 11 disentangled according to the 2 specific objectives under the priority axis 2, and 3 under the priority axis dealing with the transport, for a total of 18 projects. So this is the minimum that we can grant. If the projects ask for a reduced total budget, more projects, of course, can be granted. Another element of novelty that, again, recall one of our goals in our programming document is that through this call, we would like to give a specific emphasis on the valorization of the leverage effect of your project proposal. So here in this slide, you can see what we are expecting from you. So according to the topic that you choose, the action that you choose, you have to demonstrate us that you will deliver policy instrument, pilot actions, cooperation frameworks, and so forth. But in addition to that, and having regard the topic that you have chosen, you must ensure that your project will have a sort of leverage effect. So it is important that you will further spread your outcomes. How? And here, again, I will just introduce this topic, and the presentation that will follow will provide you with a more insight information on that. This will be possible through a mandatory compulsory activity related to the capacity development. Capacity development is a capacity building, but for institutions, for organizations. And this will not be only devoted for the benefit, and will not only be addressed for the benefit of the IPA beneficiaries, but also to those partners, ERDF partners, that are lagging behind. And as an optional activity, you can also contribute via strengthening the leverage effect of investment and policy development. What it is important is that these two activities must not be the core of your project, but they must be activities linked to your core. So again, coming back to the examples that we did before, capacity development linked to tourism, to the mitigation of the climate change, and so forth. Just a couple of words with regard to the assessment process that in our program can be considered a sort of multi-rolling step, because there are several steps that we do in the Secretariat in cooperation with also the national contact point, and a small representation of them I saw, and I also greeted them. I saw them joining this event. Thank you very much. And as you can see here, there are several steps that your project must pass. Why it is a rolling step? Because if your project proposal, for whatever reason, is not able to pass one step, it will not be further assessed. So it is important that you pay attention to every element, and this means not only not to disregard formalities, but also to have a very good knowledge and trust, and carefully build your partnership in order then to ensure and to comply that all the steps can be positively passed. This assessment process, if everything goes as we assume, and also we also made some estimations on the number of applications that we are expecting to receive, it will be finalized by mid-2026. I'm saying this with regard to the assessment process, and also not to underestimate the formalities, because even if our program is paperless, you nevertheless have to submit some documentation. In addition to the project proposal as such that you have to draft in our system, and again, a dedicated presentation will follow in a moment, you have to ensure that the declaration of interest that must be provided by all partners, lead partner, financing partners, and associated partners, comply with some specific rules. that we have summarized here with this table. So, that if the declaration of interest is signed by your legal representative, either in a digital form or handwritten, there is no need to provide additional supporting documentation. It is different if your declaration of interest is signed by an authorized person or the legal representative. And here, please be careful because additional documentation must be provided, namely the power of signature and the identity card of the authorized person if the declaration of interest is signed in handwritten, or only the power of signature if the declaration of interest is digitally signed, and also, of course, the power of signature. So, in other words, please, that's the reason why, and I repeat again, keep from the very beginning very close contact with your partners to avoid the very last minute surprise, and try to avoid this number of additional documentation to be presented by simply asking that the legal representative directly sign your declaration of interest, even better if digitally, so you can avoid and reduce the risk of having problems with the admissibility of your project proposal. The very last slide from my side, before giving the floor to my colleague, is that here, based on the experience that we had in the previous call, and also with the implementation phase of the first call granted projects, we warmly invite you to read the application package and all the other supporting documents, and also take profit from the support offered by the Joint Secretariat. Please read the document, see whether your project idea matches with the call requirement, and in particular remind that the program cannot grant research projects, and also allow me to say enlarged projects, let's say updated because you submitted CBC cross-border projects that for whatever reason you did not submit or were not passed, but be careful because CBC projects, the maquillage of CBC projects to a transnational one is not always a winning card. You have to work on this project in case you would like to submit it to us. Be as precise, accurate, and detailed as possible because the application form is the only document that the assessors will read. And also take into account the quality criteria according to which your project will be assessed, because these quality criteria will provide you with valuable hints on what we expect to read in the project proposal. And this will also provide you with valuable hints also on how, on potential weaknesses that you already detect in the future potential implementation. Prepare a realistic and consistent budget. Use also the simplified cost options to the extent that it is possible. Again, a dedicated presentation will follow mine. And the relevance of the budget is high because after 18, in case of approval of your proposal, beg your pardon, after 18 months of implementation, the program, the managing authority, and the Joint Secretariat will do a midterm review. So you will see here the minimum requirements that we would like to see after 18 months of project implementation, and you have to comply with them in order to avoid that your financial resources will likely be cut. But because of that, also be careful because you should not also submit us artificial budgets, meaning all the funds shifted to the very end of the project implementation, because matching between activities to be implemented, and budget must be clearly evident in your project proposal. And as I said before, involve your project partners from the very beginning. Do not underestimate formal requirements, and do not wait for the very last moment to submit the project proposal on the system. I thank you for your attention now, and now I will move and I will give the floor to my colleague, Adela Frania, who will provide you with the elements that you as applicants must take into account while drafting their project proposal. So here we will go more in depth with what I just provided to you. Thank you very much.
Hi to everybody. As Barbara already said, my presentation will be focused on the application package. As you know, the application package is the core, is the legal basis of each call. Here in the slide you have the list of the documents that compose the application package. So going from the announcement of the call to the application manual, which constitute the core, the most important documents on which you should stick to. But in addition to them, you have even other supporting documents going from the application form offline. This is something that is to support you, even though the application of the projects has to be done through the GEMS, through our platform. So it's just a template that allows you to work outside the system, but it's not the document on which that you can present to the program. In addition, you have also the templates of the lead partner and partner declaration, including the associated ones. The power of signature document, to which Barbara a few minutes ago made the reference, that is important and has to be provided in case the documents are signed not by the legal representative but are signed by a delegated person. The subsidy contract and partnership agreement, which gives you the elements and the obligations and rights that you have in case you will be funded by the program, and the last but not the least, the program document, which outlines the intervention field and on which direction the project should go. So, as Barbara already said to you, it is very important that you read carefully not only the two documents that I mentioned at the beginning, but everything, since even inside the power of signature document, you will have some footnotes that are very relevant for you, and you will see how to cope in case, for example, you will sign by hand or you will sign digitally. So please pay attention and read carefully all these documents. In addition to these documents, you have also a joint electronic monitoring system, GEMS guidelines, that will support you in presenting your project proposal, going through the blocks and to supporting you in submitting your project proposal. I will not enter in detail on that since in the afternoon, in the second part of this session, you will have a dedicated presentation on that. The application form, it is published in the link that you see in the screen. In this link, you will find also, in addition, not only the application form, but we will find also some supporting documents that we have provided to you. Let me remind you, you have a budget tool that will support you in defining correctly your budget. In another presentation, my colleague will enter in details and will provide you more elements on that. You have the project idea template, that is the document that you have to fill in order to contact JS and to make a consultation with us. And not the least, an FAQ which supports you on some issues, and it is based on our previous experience with the first call. Now let's go a little bit in detail and see how the partnership should be constructed and what are the indications and the limits that you have inside this call. So as for the first call, the institution willing to be included in a project partnership has to be established according to the national law of one of the participating countries of the program, and the nationality will be determined based on the Constitution Act or based on the statute. They have to have their seat, their legal seat, but also their operation one within the IPA-Adrian programming area. An exception is related to the assimilated partner, and I will go more in depth and explain what is meant with assimilated partners. This means that if one institution has the legal seat outside the program area, but has the operational one within the program area, this is not eligible under this call. So pay attention on that. And the eligible partner has to be endowed with legal personality. So these are the first indications. The eligible partners have are eligible based on their legal status. So only the ones that you see in the screen, so only the public authorities, national, regional, and local, as well as their association, are eligible. The European grouping of territorial cooperation, on condition that this institution, this organization, has been established based on the provisions of the Interreg regulation, meaning that it involves partners that are coming from two partner states, two IPA-Adrian partner states, operate on the basis of the law of one of the partner state where it is located and where it is registered. And another element that is relevant for you, the European territorial group cannot be the only beneficiary of a project proposal. So it has to be included inside a partnership that we will see afterwards. The minimum requirements are required. Another typology of beneficiaries are the bodies governed by public law. As you already know, the bodies governed by public law must be constituted according to the Article 2 of the Directive 214 of the Directive 24 of 214 related to the public procurement, and this institution have to include all the characteristics that this directive includes. So it meaning that this institution have to be established for the general interest and not have commercial or industrial character, be endowed with a legal personality, be funded mainly by the state or regional and national or local authorities or other bodies governing public law, or having the supervision of these authorities, or if this is not the case, to have the supervisory board on which more than the half of the members are nominated by the state or regional and local authorities. Another category are the private bodies, with the limitation that they have to have the legal personality. And I'm saying that because in some countries we have some private institutions that do not have the legal personality, so pay attention on that. And the international organizations that should act based on the national law of one of the IPA-Adrian participating countries. The eligibility of all the partners will be done in cooperation with the national contact points. So please, in case of doubts, refer to them and not to JS. since JS is not able to read all the constitution acts and the statutes, and only the national authority, the national contact points have all the instruments to analyze and to give you the right answer on that direction. In addition to what I said before, the eligible partners, which are the bones of the partnership, have to comply also with some other indications. So they have to demonstrate to have adequate human and technical resources to implement the project, to have the to have the administrative capacities that do not undermine their daily work, to have the financial commitment that is adequate to their size, and then to have the capacity to anticipate, because as you know, Interreg works through a reimbursement, so these partners have to be able to anticipate the resources. So eligible partners, first of all, should directly implement the project, their share of their project, and should not act as intermediary or as subcontractor or service providers. So in case of some institution will have only, in the project will have only the role of the management, coordination of communication, they will be negatively assessed during the quality assessment. The expression of these commitments is highlighted by the partners in their partner declaration, but also throughout the application form. So it's subject of assessment, quality assessment. So pay attention of how you express this commitment inside the application form and how they are reflected in your application form. Another important element that is a novelty respect of the first call is that the eligible partners are required to comply with the so-called reputational conditions. So this is something new. So reputational conditions in the case of our program is related to their commitment to reimburse, their failure to reimburse other partners or managing authorities of other programs. This is important to check from the beginning, since this element will be checked by the JS only for the projects that will be recommended for funding. And in case we will detect that still persists this problematic, so we have some partners that have not reimbursed their partners in the previous programming period or in other programs, these partners will be excluded from the project, and this may lead to also, in some cases, to the ineligibility of the project, to exclusion of the project. As you already know, in the context of the ATC programs, each project has to designate among the partners the lead partner which represents the whole partnership, and that is the interface with the program. The lead partner can be located in one ERDF country or in one of the EPA participating countries. The institution that will be designated must have the legal status of public authorities, bodies governed public law, can be an AGTC, the international organization or assimilated partner, and then I will come in a minute to the definition of this part. So this means that a private partner cannot be a lead partner. Please pay attention, because some institutions have this legal status that goes sometimes from body governed public law and private. Check it carefully with your NCP in order to avoid to be excluded, because the exclusion of the lead means automatic exclusion of the project proposal. So let's go now to see what are the assimilated partners. So the assimilated partner are an exception. Assimilated partners are an exception only for Italy. So we here are referring to the Italian public authorities and bodies governed by public law that are competent for in their scope, even for the whole territory, because Italy do not contain the whole geographical area inside the program, but are located outside the program area. And the reference here is to the ministries that are located in Rome, but their competences are extended to the whole Italian territory, including the part of inside the IPA Adrian program. These institutions have the same rights and obligation of a normal financing partner, and the status of this institution will be determined in cooperation with a national contact point that will check the status and all the documents and acts of establishment of these institutions. Another typology of actor that can be included inside your project are the associated partner. The associated partners are those institutions that would like to participate in the project, but with not a financial role, but having the role of observer or being just associated to it. These institutions do not contribute to the fulfillment of the minimum partnership requirements that Barbara mentioned before, and I will come in a few minutes to that. Must be located and pay attention, can be located to inside EU, so all the member states, in all the member states, and only on the IPA Adrian countries of the IPA Adrian program. So pay attention of that. Their expenditures can be limited only on the reimbursement of the travel and accommodation cost, and this cost has to be borne by the financial partners. Their involvement need to be justified and demonstrated within the application form. So let's come now to the partnership requirements. So in order to have a fair and balanced participation, the program has defined some minimum requirements. So the minimum requirement establishes that each partnership must have at least 4 financing partners that are coming from 4 different participating countries of the program, out of which 2 must be located in 2 different ERDF countries. So in Croatia, Greece, Italy, and Slovenia, you have to choose among these countries, and 2 from 2 different IPA Adrian countries. And you can choose here among the 5 IPA countries that are participating to the program. In addition to that, you can also add partners coming from San Marino, and San Marino partners can have the role of a partner or associated partner. San Marino partners do not count for the minimum requirements of the program, and the partners from San Marino will not benefit from the Interreg funds. Their participation in the project is done through their own resources. Nevertheless, they are required, in case they would like to participate in the project, to demonstrate that they contribute for the achievement of the project results and outputs. Based on the financial dimension of the project that you already saw in the slides of Barbara, at 1.2, and the partnership requirements, we recommend to limit the participation of the partners up to 8. We think that this is the best dimension to manage this type of projects. In addition to that, there are some other limitations. So in each project partner, in each project proposal can be included up to 2 project partners coming from the same state. So in each project, we can put 2 Croatian, 2 Albanian, but not more than this. The system will not allow you to do that, so pay attention. And another element is that the same organization cannot participate more than 2 times in this call, so cannot participate in more than 2 project proposals, out of which only 1 time with the role of the lead partner. This means that if one organization would like to use this opportunity of being lead in one partner, he has the opportunity to participate in another project as a partner. Or in case it will not like to have the role of the leader, it has the possibility to participate in 2 projects as partner. So pay attention as the system will allow you to go ahead. But further, we will implement checks, and in case some infringement will be detected, this will be would result in the exclusion of the partner, and the exclusion of the partner will be done based on the time of the arrival of the project proposals to the program. And it can happen that this exclusion combined with another problem, or bringing to the achievement of the minimum requirements will lead then to the exclusion of the project. How we will do that? We will do that based on the information that you will provide to us, so mainly based on the VAT or any other identification number that you will report in the application form. Pay attention because these 2 elements are very, very important. Report them correctly. These data will be counter-checked by the national contact points, so pay attention that even though you will report it incorrectly, the national contact points will check and then will report exactly the right number there. Try to avoid putting in this box some symbols in order to overcome the checks, because these symbols for us means that you have not provided the information required. Now it will come to an important element that is related to the content point. So, as I said before, the partnership is the bone around which you construct your project. It is important that you tailor the partnership to the challenges and the objectives and results that you would like to achieve. So that's why we recommend to apply a result-based approach, even for the selection of the right actors to be involved in the partnership. Projects are also required to explain how they have constituted the partnership and why the partners that they have chosen are the right one to handle the activities that they are foreseeing to implement. There are several approaches that are used. Among the approaches, 2 have been proven to and have demonstrated to be effective. That's why we are proposing them to you. So the first one related to a triple and quadruple helix approach. We recommend using more the quadruple helix approach, which brings together not only the government, university, and industry, but brings also the perspective of the civil society, as is important for the projects that are trying to elaborate strategies and action plans that influence the citizens, to have inside the view, the concept, and the perspective of the citizens. This type of approach, triple or quadruple approach, is fitting specifically to innovation, but not only. It is the right approach for experimenting new solutions or strategies and services that are addressed to the private or to the citizens, and which do not require only the competencies of the government and the research institutions, but also the perspectives of the end users inside. The other approach is the multi-level, the horizontal, vertical, or multi-level cooperation approach. which tries to bring together different levels of the governance in the projects. And here we can have different solutions. So we can have the involvement of different ministries that are working together in different countries to define and to implement a strategy, for example, in social innovation or sustainable tourism. And in this example, we have this horizontal cooperation. Or we can have also, for example, some national authorities that are working together for setting in place a strategy that then will be implemented at the local level by the in a pilot under the pilot activities by regional or local authorities. And in this case, we have the example of a multi-level governance cooperation. Now we are moving to another topic. So we left the partnership part, and then we will go and we'll enter in the structure of the project. Projects that the program would like to fund should follow the same approach that the program has used for the definition of its cooperation. So the project intervention logic of the project should mirror as much as possible the program intervention logic. This means that the project needs and challenges should fall within the program territorial needs and challenges described in the cooperation program. The objective, the general goal and the specific one should fit properly to the objective of the specific objective that you have chosen and for submitting your project proposal. And the activities that you are planning should fall within the indicative actions that are the focus of the call. Please don't underestimate that. Barbara already mentioned in the morning that it's important that your activities fall exactly within the indicative actions. You have the possibility to combine. So you can make reference to one indicative actions or more, but it is important that you highlight the relevance for these indicative actions immediately in the summary and throughout all the application form. Another element that is important is the contribution to the output and program indicators. So your project outputs should be tailored and should be aligned to the one that the program has. So if you choose strategies, you are planning to develop and to implement strategies, and guidelines, for example, is not something that can be captured by our output indicators. Pay attention as these are subject of quality assessment, and projects that will not show a clear link to the specific objective on which they are presenting, to the territorial challenges, to the indicative actions of the call, will be not positively assessed, and finally will result on will be not funded and supported by the program. The structure of the project is organized, as you already know, around the thematic work packages. So that are a group that are grouping several activities, and are these activities that produce then the outcomes of the project, so the deliverables and outputs. The organization around of the work page is not a novelty. It's something that is used by all the Interact programs, but it's something that allows also you to include and to share knowledge on the objective, the activities with your partners, and on the other hand, allows you and facilitates you also in reporting these activities. And the program, in the other hand, has the right instruments to follow and to monitor your activities. Each work program, each work package, it is composed by a set of activities, deliverables, and then outputs, and these outputs contribute to achieve the results. It is recommended to limit the work packages to 3, to be not dispersive, to concentrate your efforts bearing in mind what is your objective, what you would like to achieve. So it's not a matter of adding more VPs, but you should think what this VP would bring. What is the output that will bring? And how this output is contributing to the result. So it's very important that you concentrate your efforts, and up to 3. We have made several experiments, and 3 are enough to bring to the program the essence of your project. Differently from the previous programming period, you have, some of you that have already submitted projects in our program have noted that there is no more a VP related to management and communication. These activities need to be incorporated and integrated within each work package. And in addition to that, the applicants are required also to indicate within the C7 section that is dedicated to management, but also includes information regarding to communication, to describe the way the coordination is handled, the internal communication is also handled, and how what is the approach dedicated to communication. But I will not go in depth on that, as another presentation will go more in depth on that. The structure. So what is required for each VP? In this slide, you see that apart the sequence, the logical connection that exists between the specific objective activities, deliverables, and outputs, we have put also some elements that are related to definitions. We deem very important that, as from experience, we noted that sometimes there is a little bit confusion of the beneficiaries in defining the objectives, a misunderstanding, or considering the deliverables, outputs, and so on. So pay attention when you are doing that, because these are object of evaluation and quality assessment. So the first thing that you are required to do is to define the specific objective. This specific objective need to be in line and to implement the overall goal that you have described initially in the application form. And what is what is described within the specific objective is the immediate and the specific objective that you would like to reach. So it's something that is tangible. It's something that it should be easily to be defined. And that can be realistically achieved within the project lifetime. In connection to this, you are required also to define the communication objectives. And the communication objectives can be one or more. And these communications are not only related to communicate your objective outside, but also to change the audience behavior, to change their knowledge and belief. But on that, I will leave the floor to my colleague on communication that will go more in depth on that. So in order to implement this specific objective, you are required to identify a set of activities. Activities are specific tasks, steps that allow you to reach the objective, but on the other hand, to reach the output, the outcome of the whole process. And these activities must be identified following a logical sequence. There'll be a logic behind, and for each of them you are required also to identify for the benefit of whom, which partners and which areas they are going to. The result of this process brings to the deliverables that are the side effects, that are the side products and services of these activities, and then that will support the definition of the outputs. We have put some minimum requirements. one activity, according to our view, can bring to several deliverables, but you are required at least for each activity to foresee at least one deliverable. So this is a minimum requirement. So it's not possible to have. The system will allow you to do that, but from the quality point of view, when we will assess, it will be assessed negatively if we have one activity that will not bring to any deliverable. Outputs at the end are the outcomes of the whole process. So the outcomes of actually what has been funded and what has been produced with the financial support that we have given. So it is important that these outputs, as I said before, are directly linked and aligned to the output indicators that you will have the possibility to choose. So, and we will see which one you can choose. And each VP is required to have at least one project output. Now, as Barbara already mentioned before, in this call, we have a novelty. And the novelty is related to the capacity development activities. So the capacity development are intending as a learning process that brings to strengthening or valorizing the acquired knowledge, or which bring to the introduction of new knowledge. These capacity building activities are primarily devoted and intended in favor of the IPA countries in view of their future enlargement, but are not limited only to that. So can be also addressed to lagging behind ERDF areas and beneficiaries. And these capacity building activities must be, first of all, functional to the goal, to the thematic that you have chosen, in the meaning that in case your project proposal is tackling the smart specialization in tourism, I take this as an example, you have to focus your capacity development activities to this goal, bearing in mind also the needs, the specific needs that the RDF and IPA and countries have, the needs of your partners and areas that you have involved in your project proposal. It is important that these activities are clearly described within the application form. You are free to choose in which part of your application form, in which VP of your application form you would like to indicate them. But these activities should be clearly underlined that are capacity development activities that can be easily found by the assessors that will look on that. The program has supported you in identifying these activities, so you do not need to invent the wheel. You have already a list of predefined activities on which you should move. And you should select, going from the territorial peer review to study visits, partner-to-partner exchange, online training, tutoring, and so on. You see in the left side of the screen, there is a screenshot taken from the manual, which highlights the typologies of action. For each of the types of the action, you have some minimum requirements that you should stick to. For example, in the case of the peer review, you are required to involve at least 2 different partner states, so pay attention, as we will check if these minimum requirements are in place. Or, for example, the study visit should last from a minimum of 10 days to 4 months. But we will check this. So pay attention of all the indications that are provided in the manual, implementation manual. Capacity building activities, however, should not be the focus of the project proposal. So the projects that you are submitting are not capacity building project proposals, but are supporting the goal of your projects. And considering that you are in the context of a transnational program, you need also to demonstrate that you have jointly tailored and decided these activities and that these are tailored to the specificities that I said before. And then this contribute to increase the understanding, knowledge, skills, competencies, and access of the targeted stakeholders that you involve. Another novelty of this call that is not compulsory but is optional is the activities devoted to the leverage effects. The leverage effects in the context of our program are considered as an entry point, not as exit point, meaning that you should demonstrate that you have already in place activities that you would like to link with the project that you submit to our program. So the leverage effects are intended as a sort of bottom-up process leading to synergies, generation, and possible future investments at macro-regional level. Are intending as a sort of continuation, follow-up of some pathways that you have already started, you are implemented, you have finalized with the support of some local, regional, national level, as can be the National Recovery and Resilience Plan, mainstream or others. And you demonstrate that there is a strong interest of the actors, but also the need to go to a further step, so to pass from the local level to a transnational one. So this has to be clearly demonstrated and explained within the application form. You are not required to make some intentions, to express your future intentions. You are required to specify how these activities that are finalized or implemented are linked and necessary with the activities that you would like to implement within our project proposal. So you are required to indicate this inside the application form, to identify the work package that you considered as the most appropriate one on which indicate them, and to demonstrate there is the impact of these activities will be broader, involving at least 2 project partners of the project. This optional activity is subject of evaluation, is something that is not that is given as an additional points. Pay attention that foreseeing leverage effects does not mean that you automatically can be attributed the 3 points that are foreseen. Because if you were not able to demonstrate the need to go to another level, and you are not able to link them to the activities, these additional points will not be awarded to the project proposal. Last part is devoted to the indicators. As Barbara already anticipated in this call, out of the 4 categories of outputs that the program has, only 3 are devoted to the call. So the first one, it is devoted to the policy instruments, pilot actions and joint solutions, and to cooperation frameworks. So under the category of policy instruments, we include the strategies and action plans, jointly development, along with the development of solutions to overcome the administrative and legal obstacles across the border. And this is a specific output indicator that is devoted to only to specific objective 3.1 devoted to transport. The other category, the second one, it is devoted to pilot actions and joint solution. And this category, it's very relevant, but you should take into account that there is a strong relation between the pilots and joint solutions. So the joint solutions are a consequence of the pilot actions that you implemented. And this indicator of joint developed solutions capture only the solutions that are developed within the pilots. If you have not chosen the pilots, you cannot choose the joint development solutions. Pay attention, because this was something that, an error that occurred several times in the first call. And we tried a little bit to explain it in the first call, then we explained during the negotiation, if this logical will not be followed, it means that you have not clear in mind what the program is funding, and for such a reason you will be penalized or not positively assessed. The third one, it is related to cooperation. So the cooperation frameworks, it is related to networks, to the dimension of the cooperation that is key for the ATC programs. And it is related to enhancing the cooperation among the partners of the area. In this programming period, differently from the first one, for each output indicators, there is a specific result indicators that must be chosen. There is a corresponding one. So you should pay attention in choosing the right one that is linked to the output that you have already chosen within the VUPs. The program requires each project to contribute to at least 2 program outputs and results, as well as to put in place measures that demonstrate that the durability of these outcomes even after the project conclusion. Now, these are the output indicators that apply to this call. So we have the strategies and action plans. For each of the indicators, you have an annex inside the applicant manual, which provides you all the elements for defining them correctly in the context of the program, but also that provides some elements on how they will be reported. So it's important that you look ahead. What are requirements in order to forecast them in the right way. Strategies and action plans are meant in the context of the topics focus of the call. So pay attention to that. It is important. It is linked to the actions that we said before. So this had to be completely linked to the focus of the call. Pilot actions, as I said before, are actions that have an experimental and demonstration character. Pay attention that these pilots has to be implemented in the context of a transnational program. So CBC concept must be avoided. And Barbara already highlighted, but it is the case to highlight again, that as we have already seen it even in the first call projects. Pilot actions cannot consist in infrastructure investment, so pay attention that you are actually now in the context of transnational program. And joint solutions are these innovative procedures, tools that are a consequence of the testing that you have already done in the pilot actions. The novelty that is related to the solutions of legal administrative obstacles that is related, I said already, to 3.1. Here you should pay attention to tailor to the specificities of the territories that you have involved, to foresee also different measures for their implementation, not only foresee the solutions without a follow-up how this measure will be put in place. And the last, the organizations that cooperate across the borders, that is the aim to set in place networks or governance structures that will continue to exist in a long period of time. All projects need to to be documented. So for each of these outputs, there is a document, and the minimum requirements of these documents are indicated in the annex that I mentioned before. The novelty is related to the results. So as I said before, for each project output, you have a result indicator that measures what is the change that the project will bring, and demonstrate that what is the benefit that will come to the area. Here you have the list, so I'm not going into details that we will explain more widely during the thematic session, but it is important that the results are uptaken, are adopted by the institutions within the partnership, but can be also outside the partnership, within the project lifetime, or at least 3 months after the project end date. So that's all from my side. I hope that I have not bothered you, but thank you.
So thank you very much, Adela, for this presentation. I would like to propose you a slight change in our program, so to do the break now until we see each other back at 12:15. The coffee break is offered downstairs on the ground floor, Sala Poggioli, just follow us. And then we see each other with the other presentation, so with our colleague Davorka, who will provide our presentation online, and with the other colleagues afterwards, and also FAQ question and answers at the end. Thank you very much. Join us downstairs. Thank you. So I kindly ask you to take your seat, and then it is time to continue with our presentation of today. Several times in the previous presentations, the need of having a good project budget was mentioned, feasible and realistic budget, and it is one of the elements. Thank you very much for closing the door. And this will be one of the elements that will be thoroughly analyzed by the assessors. I give now the floor to our colleague Davorka Zagar, who is joining us remotely. Hi, Davorka.
Hi, hello to everyone.
Ciao. And she will now provide us with a presentation devoted to financial elements of the project proposal. And I give immediately the floor to you. Please.
Thank you, Barbara. I hope that you can hear me clearly. As Barbara said, my name is Davorka Zagar. I am a Joint Secretariat Finance Officer, and my mission today is to guide you through the general requirements regarding the drafting the project budget. I would kindly ask Julia to change the slides, please. So through today's presentation, we will go through the general provisions of the eligibility of expenditure, eligible cost categories, and to go more thoroughly through the simplified cost options. As Barbara already said earlier, the program recommends strongly the use of simplified cost options, so we will devote few more minutes to this particular subject. As also said before, the project budget will also be the subject of the project assessment. So we will go through the assessment criteria related to the project budget, and we will conclude with the obligations regarding to performance at the midterm of the project implementation. Next slide, please. As it was already emphasized in the first presentation today, for the second call for proposals, we are facing the limited allocation of resources to around 22 million euro for the whole second call for proposal, which means that we are expecting around 18 projects to be financed, which is why I would like to point out that only the projects of the highest quality will be financed from this second call for proposals. As I said already, the project budget will also be a part of the project assessment. So, of course, you need to devote special attention also for that part to make it of the best quality for enabling your project to be financed. Next slide, please. While drafting your project budget, sound financial management principles need to be respected. As you are for sure already informed of the three principles: economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. I wouldn't go in details with that, but I would just like to remind you that all the resources and all the activities need to be engaged in a way to lead to the project outputs and results. Next slide, please. On this slide, you can see the hierarchy of rules on eligibility of expenditure. First of all, while drafting your budget, you need to respect the regulations of the European Union. After that, program rules are to be respected, which are applied to the program as a whole. And in case that there are matters that are not covered by EU or program rules, you need to respect your national and institutional rules. Bear in mind that in case that your national rules are stricter than the EU rules, you need to, of course, apply the stricter rules. Next slide, please. On this slide, you can see the cost categories that are eligible for the second call for proposals. And as you can see, there are no infrastructure and works. They are not eligible for the second call for proposal. And detailed information on what costs are covered by each of these eligible cost categories, as well as what are the ineligible costs. The information you can find in the application manual. So please refer to the implementation to the application manual and read it thoroughly to be guided how to draft your budget and what costs to include and in what way. Next slide, please. As we said a few times already, the program recommends to use the simplified cost options. So we will go through the options available. For the staff cost category, the simplified cost option available is a flat rate of 20% of the direct costs other than staff costs. For the second cost category, office and administration, the program decided that the use of simplified cost option for this cost category is mandatory. So the one and only option you can choose while planning your office and administrative costs is a flat rate of 15% of eligible staff costs. Next available simplified cost option is a calculation of a flat rate that covers the cost categories office and administration, travel and accommodation, external expertise and services, and equipment. And the option is to calculate these cost categories as a flat rate of 40% of direct staff costs. Next slide, please. Here are the following available simplified cost options for travel and accommodation costs. There are available different rates depending on the project partners, if they are from ERDF or IPA country. So for ERDF partners, travel and accommodation can be calculated as a 10% flat rate of staff costs. And for IPA partners, the percentage is 15% flat rate. Another available simplified cost option is for preparation costs, which are calculated as a lump sum of 14,200 euro at the project level. This means that this amount can be planned on one project partner, or it can be divided to all or some of the project partners, depending on the decision of the partnership and the participation of the project partners in the preparation of the project proposal. But at the project level, the maximum amount is 14,200 euro. Next slide, please. Taking into the consideration these options I showed on the previous slide, here are the 5 options that can be chosen from the project partners while drafting their own budgets. What it needs to be emphasized is that each project partner can choose its own option, one of these 5 options. On the project level, different partners can choose different options. However, bear in mind that the option that you choose in your application phase cannot be changed during the implementation. I won't go through these options, maybe just the option 1, how the cost can be calculated. So in case the staff costs are calculated as real costs, in option 1, all the other costs are calculated as a 40% flat rate of the staff costs. The logic is similar for all the rest of the options available. And on the next slide, please. We can see the example of the calculation of the budget of the one project partner. So while drafting your your partner budget, you will have available on the program website the budget tool, which you can use to calculate the options according to this slide. and it will allow you to make a decision which option is the most suitable for you. Next slide, please. As I said already, the project budget will be also the subject of the project assessment. Assessment of the budget is a part of the operational criteria of the operational assessment, and it can bring your project up to 15 points maximum in the assessment. So this is the reason in this situation when we have a very limited amount allocated to the call to pay additional attention also to your project budget and to develop it in the most quality level. So what will be assessed? These are the questions that you can also see in the application manual. We will check to what extent is the project budget detailed and transparent, both at the partner level and at the level of the cost categories. We will check if the application of the simplified cost options that you proposed is justified and realistic. And as also said earlier, avoiding any artificial budgeting of the cost categories can be penalized. We will also check the justification for the travel costs that are planned. So in case you planned travel costs in your budget, it has to be justified in the content part of the project proposal that the travel will happen under some of the activities. What will also be assessed is to which extent the project budget is adequate to the proposed activities and project outputs. Further on, the financial allocation per cost category must be realistic and in line with the proposed activities from the work plan. Special attention will be devoted to the budget allocated to the pilot activities and equipment. Any equipment that you need needs to be also planned in the project budget. If not, the costs cannot be included during the implementation. And finally, we will check if the distribution of the budget per partner and per period is in line with the distribution of the tasks, the activities from the work plan, and the time plan available in your application form. Next slide, please. Finally, as also mentioned earlier, each project that will be financed from the second call for proposal will be the subject to the midterm review after 18 months of the implementation. What is the acceptable underspending rate after these 3 reporting periods? It is 20%. So in case the underspending is more than this percentage, it can be the project can be penalized with the budget reduction. Also, in specific cases when the program suffers from decommitment, further budget revision could be envisaged for the projects which are faced with underspending. This is also important in line with the project assessment when, as already said before, it will be negatively considered any artificial budget shifting from the first 3 periods to the last period, so with the intention to avoid the penalization at the midterm review. So bear in mind that when planning your a budget, that that the budget amounts per period must be in line with the activities that are envisaged for the specific period of implementation. For now, this is all. I think this is the last slide, Julia. This is for now from my side all. In case you have any questions later on after today, you can write us at IPA Adrian email, and you can find all the relevant information regarding the second call for proposal and the documents on IPA Adrian webpage, and I will remain available for the questions later on. Thank you for your attention.
So, thank you, Davorka. The colleagues of the JS, beg your pardon, at the end of this presentation, and the one devoted to communication will be available for question and answers from this session, not for the people who are following us online. And now it is the turn of Valentina Di Vincenzo, who is our GEMS officer, and she will provide you with a quick overview on how GEMS works and the very preliminary but vital step to allow you to prepare your project proposal on the system. Please.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes, I think so. Good morning or good early afternoon. As Barbara said, this is not going to be a presentation to teach you how to make your application form. For that, there are the GEMS guidelines, which are available on our website, and I invite you to read them carefully. This is just going to be a quick presentation about the system. My colleagues already told you about that. The system is called GEMS, is our platform. What is GEMS? GEMS stands for Joint Electronic Monitoring System, and it is the heir of EMS. And of course, it's enhanced version. I don't know if any of you already had to deal with EMS. GEMS as EMS has been developed by the Interact program, and it is based on HIT, Harmonized Implementation Tools templates, which provides us the homogeneity of data all across the European Union. Of course, in that case, it is compliant with the new EU regulation, and it is co-developed thanks to the experience of Interact programs. That means that it has been enhanced all across the previous programming period. As I said, GEMS is quite diffused in the EU. In fact, out of at least around 50 programs out of 84 already signed their license agreement and decided to use GEMS. This means that there is a widespread and lively network based on a common tool, which of course is a great benefit for all applicants, because, for example, the same applicant can use GEMS for, I don't know, MED program and can use it for us, which makes it very useful to use. Why we decided to use GEMS? Of course, first of all, because it has a continuity with EMS. It assures the compliance with EU regulation with HIT templates, and the information provided will be directly displayed in other EU databases, such as KEEP, for example. And it is a unique repository where you can find easily all the documentation related to your project. It also allows all the bodies involved in the verification and control and audit of the operation to check all the documentation and the workflow of the project. This is quickly to remind you that in this programming period, no specific communication or management of WP are envisaged. Questions about the project will be managed in section C7, project management. Therefore, it is suggested to open within each working package one activity devoted to management and one to communication. Of course, the clearer you are, the better it is. Also note that the way these activities are managed will be elaborated in section C7. And here we are going to explore just some of the benefits for the users. As I said, GEMS is a common tool and provides templates common to all programs that decided to use it. Therefore, all the beneficiaries get used to this shared platform, and therefore they feel safer and more confident. Of course, since we learned from EMS, GEMS is an enhanced tool more careful to users' needs, and the sections and processes are easy to find from anywhere in the system. Of course, it's very more user-friendly than EMS, but in any case, it is intuitive. You can check it by yourself. And by the way, I strongly advise you to start being familiar with the system. Start making your application form as soon as possible. Don't hesitate the very last days to, to create your application form. It provides guidance throughout the system. For example, there are info bubbles, dedicated labels and hints will provide guidance and different fields that needs to be filled in. So whenever you are in doubt, just hover your mouse on the info bubble, and then you can already have some useful information. Furthermore, there is a customization of the application form model for better data visualization. So we customize the force with our program needs. I also explored this last slide to say that be careful not to use other programs' guidelines for our program, because some procedures may differ from one program to the other. So be careful to read our guidelines, our application manual, please. We also provided GEMS with warning checks. For example, red asterisk fields not filled in prevent the creation of the section. And yellow alerts warn the applicant about information missing. There are also customized pre-submission checks, which are checks and blocks customized per call, will help respecting the eligibility criteria before the submission. They will show up in the very last step when you are going to submit your application. So there is a button, Run Pre-Submission Check, and then you will see that a screen like this will appear. When you will see a green sign, it means that everything is correct in that section. Otherwise, there is a red alert highlighting how many issues there are in that section. So it means that you have to check carefully what you made wrong. Otherwise, you will not be able to submit the application form. Nonetheless, system blocks support applicants, but do not replace the compliance with the administrative and eligibility requirements. The final overall responsibility of the admissibility and eligibility of the application form remains within the lead applicant. We also strongly suggest not to work simultaneously on GEMS. because otherwise there can be the risk of overwriting information and then losing data. And as I said, in order to allow the program to provide all the possible support, please do not hesitate the very last days to submit your application form. Start now, start opening, start checking, start trying with GEMS. Because support of the JS and NCPs may not be ensured after 19th June of 2025. As I said, GEMS is also a unique place where monitoring your project's evolution and performance, both on content and finance side, with handy and dedicated files in different formats. You can download or PDF or Excel files, depending on of the content of that file. And there are also specific overview tables that will help you all along the process and all along the reporting of your project. It can keep track of all the aspects of your project lifecycle. And it's a place where all the documents and data are safely stored. In fact, it is also compliant with GDPR. And here we are on the specific condition applicant's registration in GEMS. If you already applied in IPA Adrian first call for proposal, then you have to be very careful. Because, for example, if you have been a lead partner in the first call, then you have to set a new credential in order to submit the application for the second call. On the other hand, if you have been a project partner in the first call, and now you are going to be the lead partner, also you have to create new credentials. As my colleagues before said, we are going to identify your organization through the VAT or any other national identifying number, which of course is typical of any LP or PP. The VAT is the overall number, has to be one block without spaces or hyphens, and the correct VAT format has to be respected. If VAT is not applicable, any other identifier needs to be filled in. And any other identifying number allows to identicate a reference to the registry where the other identifier number can be found. For example, company registry, fiscal code, or whatever. Remember that in order to submit the application form, at least one among VAT or any other identification number is mandatory. It's not possible to leave those fields blank. However, be also aware that in case of project approval, PIC is mandatory for all the beneficiaries and partners. More information about PIC are highlighted in the GEMS guidelines. Notification. This is a very nice things that we have in GEMS. Sorry, it didn't come into my mouth. There are two ways you are notified about what happens to your projects, or on your dashboard, where you can see that there is the timing of the submission in this case, but there will also be the timing of any other action, the link to the project, and that there will be the message. For example, in this case, your application, number of the application, name of the application, related to call number has been submitted within the deadline. Or you can get a notification via email. But you have to set this notification by yourself. How? First of all, you have to configure your user profile. Enter from the icon in the upper right corner and click on your username. And then tick the box, send notification automatically to my email, under notification and save changes. If you do not do this, you will not be notified via email. So if you want to receive emails, please be very aware of this step. Of course, there will also be the active support by the program through GEMS guidelines, as I told you, that are available on our GEMS IPA Adrian website under the second call section. And there is also the help desk. Please be always aware to specify GEMS second call on the object of your email. Thank you for your attention and have a nice day ahead. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Valentina. Now, the very last presentation, but not per importance, but because of the order of our set of presentation, will be provided by our communication officer, Giulia Frattini. She will focus on the relevance of communication in Interreg and in particular IPA Adrian project, and she will also provide you with an overview of the services offered by the program, not only by us at the central level, but also by the national contact points, so future info days that will be organized in our program area. Please, Giulia.
Thank you, Barbara. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're still alive. We are slightly coming at the end of this first session. And yes, as Barbara said, it's not because we are in charge of also project communication, but also because, you know, the European Commission is putting a very high emphasis on communication, especially from this programming period. So we would like you to focus well when it comes to the communication activities that you will be that will be designed in your project proposal. One thing to say is that bear in mind that you are part of a broader picture, of a broader landscape. You are part of the EU cohesion policy. Your project, as being in the Interreg family, will benefit, and you will be benefiting from the whole EU cohesion policy scheme. So you should, and your project should consider as an ambassador of the EU policy goals, especially when you want to design your project communication activities. Know that there are still some kind of lack of knowledge about EU projects and what the EU is funding in Europe and beyond. A new barometer in 2023 told us that 39% only, even if it's considered a high number, but 39% of people knows about EU finance projects. So we would like you to be, let's say, ambassador of the EU cohesion policy. So that's why communication is very important. Communication activities within your project brings accountability to it, brings not only visibility and awareness, but mostly accountability. So if you are having a good project implementation and you are delivering well and disseminating well your project result, it will be very much beneficial for the overall impact of your project. So just a few lines regarding the key principle that should bring you communication into that should lead you for the your communication activities. Interreg are kind of specific projects which include and where cooperation is very much important. You should highlight this when you draft your communication activity, and you should highlight the fact that you are trying to fix or sort out issues or problems which are shared in your partnership, and you're trying to find out a joint solutions. This is basically what citizens wants to hear. that you have developed a joint tool, a joint strategy, which is tackling somehow their own problems, which is tackling issues that are part of their daily life. So this is very important that you bring this message into your communication activities. More technically regarding your application form. As we have said already 10 times today, work package on communication is not part of anymore a standalone work package. So you would need, in this case, to be much more specific in what you want to develop as in terms of communication activities in order to let's say, to try to enhance the outputs of the single technical packages. So that's the reason why the communication, the working package on communication is not a standalone package anymore. The idea is that you build your communication strategy in a little bit more focused way. You won't need to include any costs related to some basic tools that we provide ourselves as a program for you for free, which is the project website and some basic visual elements, the logo and the poster, the logo in all its formats and the poster. So you don't need to add this to the budget of the project. This we have said already, identify your target audience, work on your target audience, and with this we try not to, let's say, to advise you to target your communication activity to a broader audience, to the general public. So try to be as focused as possible, as specific as possible. Also, your activities will benefit from it because if you specifically reach to the target audience, that will bring surely a maximization of the project results as a whole. Not to forget, maybe it's taken for granted, but dedicate and allocate a budget for your communication officer. Already since the very beginning, in this case, have a structured idea of what is going to be the communication of your project. There are a few sections where you are asked to include your communication strategies or also your communication tactics or tool within the project proposal. The section C7.3, where you will be asked to provide with an indication of your general approach to communication. The section B16, where in case you are a partner which is in charge of communication, here you have the possibility to describe why you are fit for this role. And then the last section, C7.1, how will you coordinate your project in case you think that internal communication here is relevant? Please also you can edit some lines regarding the fact that how you want to lead the internal communication of your project in order for the project to have a better, let's say, impact outside. Then, besides communication, which is over, the part that is related to this topic. As you know, since this second call, we have opened and we have launched a new platform. Some of you have already experienced using our partner search platform here? No. We have a new tool. You can get to the partner search platform through our website. This tool is meant for you to look for partners, to showcase your organizations, to present yourself, and to present project ideas. We can see already that some of you have presented project ideas publicly. So it means that they are in need of partners, a partnership to be developed. And so it's a tool which allows you to broaden a little bit your synergies and to help you this process of finding new partners for the partnership, for your project proposal. We encourage you to use it, to register, and to create a profile. It works a little bit like a social media, so you will, it's quite interactive. And but before entering any project ideas or anything, please make sure that those ones match with the call's requirements, which is very important in order not to create confusion. But we encourage you to use it. Another tool that from where you can take inspiration regarding your project idea, but mostly your project outputs, you can look at our digital library. We have developed a digital library, digital library in the previous programming period, and we have collected the most successful outputs of the previous funded projects. So here there is a quite broad collection of outputs where you can take inspiration from. Last but not least, there is a tool which is a very relevant tool for the ones who are familiar with Interreg, is KEEP. KEEP is a tool built by Interreg, by DG Regio, and it allows you to somehow broaden a little bit your horizons across all programs of the European Union and beyond. So here you will find you will have access to a very large amount of data, like mostly more than 30,000 projects. And this is where you can check out if, for example, your project idea has been already developed somewhere else, and how was let's say the impact and the results of that project idea, or just in case you have exactly the same project idea, so that means that you maybe have to slightly change it. So anyway, this is also this is a tool which is very inspirational, let's say. It really provides a lot of information, and also from cooperation area which are elsewhere from the Adriatic-Ionian region. Additionally, we have, as you know, we have stated on our website, we have the consultation with the Joint Secretariat. Make sure that when you send your request for an appointment, you include the project fiche, and we will give you an appointment for a short interview and check if, and we provide you with feedback regarding the feasibility of your project proposal. Last information from this presentation. We have a list of national info, we have a list of info days. The calendar is in progress. You need to check regularly our website. As of 2nd of May, we will have a list of meetings where you can national meetings. So you can you are very welcome to join them, because they will be held by our national contact points. And they will provide you much more insights into national rules and regulations. So you will have here really a lots of hands-on information about your organization in terms of national origin. Yes, I am over with my presentation. Then we will get to this in a while. Now we go to...
Okay. Now we arrive at the point of the questions. I know very well that it is not an early time, but I believe that this is one of the most important points. And I invite my colleague of JS here in order to quickly answer at your question. Please, ladies, if you can come. There is a microphone that can arrive for you. Please, the first. Please introduce you as all the other in order to also increase the possibility of networking.
Okay, my name is Anna Coxidio and I come from the Center for Research and Technology, ELAS, in Thessaloniki. So I have two very quick questions. One of them is that you said that the maximum budget per project is 1.2 million euro Interreg funds. This means that the total project budget is around 1.4 million, approximately. Okay.
Yes. And yes, just to provide, otherwise then I will forget. So you have to consider the additional 15% of national co-financing.
Yes. So this is added to the 1.2 million, okay.
But if I can add a consideration, I kindly suggest to all the partners and to all the lead partners to don't use all the budget. Remember that we have only 21 million euro, and we strongly believe, MA and JS, that the projects have to be much reasonable in the budget as it is possible.
Okay, yes, clear. Thank you. And the other question is if we are allowed to submit more than once. So once we submit the proposal in GEMS, we have to create another proposal to resubmit. We cannot change the proposal and submit again. I don't know if it is clear what I'm asking.
Yes, I mean, but my question is, why should you submit twice?
Because maybe we did something wrong in the first one and we would like to correct something.
Okay, I mean, if you are still within the deadline, you can, and you realized you made a mistake, you can write us, and we can revert to you.
Ah, okay, this is possible.
No, sorry, no, sorry, sorry, no.
So we have to start all over again.
No, you have to pay attention. When you are submitting, you check that everything is inside. If you are doing again, the project for us is that you have presented already 2 projects. We will not check in the phase of admissibility and eligibility, check the content. Mm-hmm. We will check that everything is from the formal point of view. So for us in the system, you have submitted 2 projects.
Okay, so then
pay attention.
So we have all the eligibility issues afterwards that we submitted more than 2 proposals, etc. Okay, so it's one submission and we have to make it all of it. Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
Good morning, everybody. Marco Delo Russo from Naxta, technical assistance of many projects that will be implemented during this call. I have just one question regarding the legal seat of partner organization, because during the presentation you said that in terms of eligibility, the partner organization or lead partner should have the legal seat of the operation within the program area and the seat of operation within the program area. This basically means that if you are a partner organization with not the legal seat of operation within program area, but with the seat of operation in the program area, you are not eligible. I'm not, there is a definition within the call. Partner organization should have legal seat within program area and seat of operation as well in program areas. According to this definition, you are eligible. Otherwise, if you have a legal seat within program area, if you have a seat of operation within program area, but not the legal seat, you are not eligible. Yes. It is correct?
It is correct.
Okay, all clear. Thank you very much.
Other question?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Ida Carolla, on behalf of CREA, the Center for Agricultural Research and Economics. One question linked to the previous question. The assimilated partners can be lead partner?
Yes, they can be. Yes, yes. No, I already said that's why I was so quick in answering. For sure, to be defined assimilated partner, you have to go to the national contact point that will check the documents and will check that you have all the requirements, you fulfill all the requirements to be defined as an assimilated partner. But they can be a lead partner, yes.
Hello, my name is Nikos Kritsinellis from KMOP, Athens, Greece. So I'm wondering if an RDA of a region, which might be an SA, would be considered under the usual indirect typology under public law, and whether, as such, would be eligible to be the lead partner.
Can you please repeat, because we didn't catch exactly what you were saying.
Of course. More often than not, regional authorities have their RDAs, which participate on their behalf as regards the policy making in the projects. Would an RDA, which as a legal entity is an SA and founded by municipalities in the region, would be considered eligible for the lead partner position, albeit it could be an SA?
Just to clarify one point, when you are referring, it's a sort of company in-house, something like that?
Yes, RDA, the development agency of the region, but the legal entity of the organization is an SA. I mean, to my experience, usually in other indirect programs, such organizations fall under a typology which is called public law equivalent. And if there is a set of criteria that are summatively met, is the same rule applying here?
Yes, in my presentation, maybe you lost this part. I already mentioned what are the characteristics. And if you already have all these characteristics, so you have been instituted for the public interest, you do not have commercial character, an industrial one, you have your personal, you have legal personality, and then you are owned or funded by the state, or the others that I don't repeat.
The shareholder are public authorities.
So, yeah, but since there are some small specificities at national level, so it's better that you refer to your national contact point, just to be pretty sure that you have all these three elements inside.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
No other questions? Okay, there.
Hi, I'm Federico from University Ca' Foscari in Venice. I just wanted to ask if the 15% co-financing part of the project for Italian partners is covered by the Fondo di Rotazione Nazionale, and yes, and if so, what is the ratio between saying like 8% of the Italian budget will be covered by the European funds, while the other 20 or 25 or 15% will be covered by the Fondo di Rotazione? Like, it's just a fixed percentage? Like the fixed 15% percentage will be covered by fund? Okay, thanks.
Yes, in order to repeat, if we have understood in the right way, the question is the 15% of the national co-financing is from Fondo di Rotazione, and at this question, yes, for private and public institutions. Secondly, this is fixed, the percentage, no exchange.
Sorry, I have another question. This time is concerning the capacity development activities, because during the presentation you said that there are a list of pre-listed by the GIMs activities, for example, peer reviews, capacity building. Do we need to include this kind of activities within, of course, the activities during the DVP?
Yes, you are obliged to do that. You are obliged to create an activity, a specific one, within one of the VPs, the thematic ones. You can choose whichever you think is better, and to identify it as capacity development activities. Inside, you have to write down what type of activities you are going to implement, making reference to the ones that are pre-listed in the application manual.
Okay, thank you.
Just pay attention, because some of them are interlinked. So check carefully, not only the linkage that existed among them, but even the minimum requirements that I mentioned. So okay. The reference to the peer review that has to be implemented at least by 2 partners or others.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
No other questions?
Okay, so if there are no further, I'm looking at you. Okay, so if there are no further questions, of course, but questions pop up during your trip back home or in the following days, we are available. There will be published tomorrow or the day after tomorrow the FAQs on our program website. They are not there, but there will be. And of course, if there are very specific questions related to your, excuse me, project ideas, you can also directly write to us. And Julia mentioned that there is also a form to be filled in case you would like to have a dedicated meeting with us, upon condition that you submit in advance your project idea, so that we can have an idea of what you would like to ask you, and just to have a little bit of understanding. If there are no further questions, I pass the floor to Lodovico.
Yes, no, only to say, okay, we are at the closure of the first part of this meeting. Only 2 things that I wanted to underline, and I want that you pay attention at this. This is the last call of our project, of our program, and there are not a lot of funds. And this means that we have the expectation to receive a project of very high quality. Put the mind before to submit the project at the fact that these projects have to be really fixed to the specific objective and specific action that we explain during this morning. This is one of the points. Secondly, taking consideration that we will look deeply at the budget, and the budget has to be really coherent to the action. This means that don't believe that it is important to use all the budget, all the highest budget. We prefer to have concrete projects and really specific. The involvement of new partners, for us, it is important because our effort is to enlarge our community. Because it is important also for the future and also for this area, and especially for this area, to increase the local participation. Please also put the attention at this. And okay, good luck for this presentation, for your application, and thank you to my colleague of JS for the presentation of today, of this morning, and in this afternoon the meeting will continue with a specific session to each specific objective. Now I give the floor to Valentina to Giulia, sorry, to give some logistic informations.
Maybe I can get from here. No. So, you know that the meeting is not over. You have the afternoon ahead. We have prepared some technical sessions, so there are parallel sessions split in the specific objective funded by the call. We really encourage you to take part into this technical session. There will be a lot of insights and more information. There also will be some networking. You have already selected and identified the technical session you wish to go. You have on your badge a small colored ball. The technical sessions are for specific objective 1.1 exactly here. So for strengthening innovation capacities. We will meet, we decided to be here at 2:30. We give you a little bit more time because we are kind of lagging behind. So for SO 1.1 here at 2:30. For SO 2.1 at meeting room Aula Magna, Viale Aldo Moro is right here. It's not, it's just a couple of towers down the road, but we will have a meeting point, in case you don't know where it is located, at the registration desk at 2:15. We will go there all together. Then for priority for SO, specific objective 2.3, supporting environmental preservation and protection, the meeting room CD is just here down the corridor, so we are very close by. And same as for meeting room B, in case you want to attend the strengthening carbon neutral smart mobility system, as SO 3.1 is just down the corridor as well, so it's just here close by. So to wrap up, we meet at the start. The thematic parallel session starts at 2:30. You are free to go for lunch everywhere you want, but there are some foods leftovers in the Poggioli room, in the room where you had the catering, the lunch, the break, the coffee break. So you are free also to get some food there if you want. Did I miss anything? The presentation will be available tomorrow on our website. And we are back here, very important, we are back here at 3:45 for the conclusions. So we ask you to gather here all together to the plenary session again and for the very final remarks. Thank you.